Report on Violence and Violations Based on Real or Presumed Sexual Orientation or Gender Identity during the month of October 2023. The 16th of November 2023. The Anti-Homosexuality Act, 2023 has, as at the end of October 2023, been in force for a period of 5 months. Human Rights Awareness and Promotion Forum, HRAPF, through its Legal Aid Clinic has continued to monitor the human rights situation and lived realities of LGBTIQ persons in the wake of the passing of the AHA and its subsequent enforcement, and to document cases of violence and human rights violations based on real or presumed sexual orientation or gender identity, SOGI. To this end, it has published monthly reports for every month and also tracked the trends over the whole period. This is the report of the 5th month of the AHA's enforcement, exploring cases reported in the month of October 2023 in which known or suspected LGBTQ persons were targeted for violence and violations purely on the basis of their SOGI. This report builds on the reports produced earlier in this series and therefore seeks to build on the data available about the enforcement of the AHA23 from the 30th of May 2023 to date and makes a comparison with the same period in 2022. 2. Methodology. As with previous reports in this series, the report provides an overview of reported cases of violence and human rights violations on the basis of SOGIE that were reported to and handled by the HRAPF Legal Aid Clinic in the month of October 2023. The report employs both qualitative and quantitative methods of data collection to collect and analyze the data shared in this report. Quantitative data was obtained from a review of case files to ascertain the number of cases handled and the cases in which the particular incidents of violence and violations reported herein occurred. This data was then subjected to a further in-depth qualitative analysis to ascertain the circumstances under which the incident occurred. Only cases in which there is reason to believe that the actions in the incidents deliberately targeted persons primarily or wholly on the basis of their real or presumed sexuality are included in the report. A recurring limitation of this report is that it contains only cases that have been reported to HRAPF through our countrywide network of community paralegals, regional legal aid centers, specialized legal aid desks and the Central Legal Aid Clinic. This network is spread out enough to cover the majority of the districts in the country in all regions, but it is worth noting that there may indeed be areas where cases are not reported at all, thus limiting the data available for this report. Other cases may also have been reported to other legal service providers and others not at all. This report therefore presents an accurate picture of the situation for LGBTIQ persons as reported to HRAPF, but may not necessarily be representative of all LGBTIQ persons across the country. 3. Nature and number of cases reported. HRAPF handled a total of 83 cases in the month of October 2023, a notable increase from 68 cases in September and 71 in August. Out of the 83 cases handled, 64 cases involved actions that directly targeted people for negative treatment on the basis of their SOGIE, representing 77.1% of all the cases handled during the month, an increase from 72.1% in September and 66.2% in August 2023. Out of the 64 cases in which LGBTIQ people were specifically targeted for detrimental treatment, 28 were cases of violence and threats of violence, 27 were cases of evictions from properties, 6 were arrests for sexuality-related reasons and 3 were cases of extortion. These actions affected a total of 85 individuals. This section of the report provides detailed data on these cases. 3.1 Cases of violence. In October 2023, HRAPF recorded a total of 28 cases of actual violence and threats of violence against individuals on the basis of their real or presumed sexual orientation and gender identity affecting 35 persons, an increase from 24 cases affecting 37 persons registered in September 2023. Out of the 28 cases reported, 12 involved acts of physical violence while 16 were threats of violence. 3.1.1 Cases of actual violence on the basis of sexual orientation, gender identity. There were 12 cases of actual violence against persons on the basis of their real or presumed SOGIE in October 2023, affecting 14 persons. This is a reduction from the 18 cases affecting 20 persons recorded in September 2023. However, cases of extortion have now been moved from violence to a new category referred to as extortion, but even when that is factored in, there were more cases of actual violence in September 2023, 16, than in October 2023, 12. The majority of these cases were cases of physical violence, 8, 1 case of psychological torture, harassment, 1 case of a raid, 1 case each of rape, and 1 case of verbal harassment. This violence was perpetrated by unknown persons in 8 cases, community members in 3 cases and neighbors in 1 case. The majority of the cases were reported in Kampala, Wakizo, 8 with 2 cases from Isingiro, and 1 case each reported from Mukono and Gulu. The details of these cases are discussed in the table below. No. Case code date of reporting. District nature of violence. Perpetrator brief facts number of victims. 1. HRAPF PA 2 and 47 2023. The 3rd of October 2023 Isingiro physical violence. Community members. The client provided counseling services HIV positive lesbian women. The community in the refugee camp started attacking her on allegations of recruiting women into lesbianism, and her leg was broken in the process. She was also attacked at her home by the same community, and threatened to kill her, and she was forced to run away. 12. HRAPF PA 2 and 42 2023. The 3rd of October 2023 Isingiro physical violence. Neighbors. The client was a community mobilizer for an LGBTQ organization whose offices were burnt down. The people in her neighborhood started threatening to beat her if she did not stop supporting homosexuals in their area, and even beat her up one day. 13. HRAPF PA 2 and 25 2023. The 8th of October 2023 Mukono physical violence. Unknown men. The 2 victims were walking home at night when they were set upon by a group of men they did not know. The men beat them up, accusing them of trying to spoil all the children in the neighborhood with their homosexual habits. One of them was beaten into unconsciousness. 24. HRAPF PA 2 and 26 2023. The 8th of October 2023 Kampala physical violence. Unknown man. The client was chatting with a man he met on Grindr. When the 2 met up, the man immediately started yelling, informing everyone in the vicinity that the client was a homosexual, and beating him. The crowd also turned to him and started beating him, although he managed to escape. 15. HRAPF PA 2 and 27 2023. The 2nd of October 2023 Kampala physical violence. Unknown people. Roommate. The client's roommate found out that she was transgender and outed her to the neighbors and other people in the area. They immediately ganged up on the client and started beating her, with the roommate also beating, before the client was able to run away from them. 16. HRAPF PA 2 and 28 2023. The 13th of October 2023. Kampala physical assault, robbery. Unknown people. The client was on her way home when 2 men stopped her and started beating her, demanding that she hand over her money and phones, which she did. They were however joined by 5 other men who also beat her and then told her that they knew where she lived, and if she did not change her ways, they would come to her house and burn it down. 7. HRAPF PA 2 and 30 2023. The 13th of October 2023. Kampala psychologic AL. Violence, harassment. Neighbors. The client's neighbors started harassing him by holding evening prayers outside his home every day to cast out the demon of homosexuality from their neighborhood. They held these prayers on the veranda of his house, often laying hands on his bedroom window as well. 18. HRAPF PA 2 and 33 2023. The 16th of October 2023. Kampala abduction and physical violence. Unknown persons. The client, a transgender man, was coming from a bar at night with his partner when he was stopped by men in a car who took him off the boda boda, put him in the car, took him to a location he did not know and physically assaulted him and threatened to rape him. He managed to escape from them and run to a marketplace where he was aided by bystanders to make contact with his partner. 19. HRAPF PA 2 and 55 2023. The 26th of October 2023. Wakizo raid. Unknown people. The client was at home with a friend when a crowd of people started to gather outside the house, loudly demanding that they come out, and they beat them too. Because they were no longer willing to tolerate homosexuals. A neighbor managed to sneak them out through the back door and told them to run. 10. HRAPF PA 2 and 34 2023. The 25th of October 2023. Kampala rape unknown persons. The victim in this case, a transgender woman, was returning home from the bar at about 1 a.m. when two men came up behind her, forced themselves into her house and raped her. They then called on the neighbors to wake up and see a homosexual, but she was saved by one of the neighbors who called the area defense secretary to chase them away. The client was too afraid to report the rape because most of her neighbors think she is a cisgender woman. 11. HRAPF PA 2 and 35 2023. The 30th of October 2023. Kampala physical violence. Robbery. Unknown men. The client was walking home when he was approached by three men who stated that they knew he had money because he works with homosexuals. They beat him up and took all his money and phones. 12. HRAPF PA 2 and 36 2023. The 31st of October 2023 Gulu physical violence. Unknown men. The client was attacked on her way home at night by unknown men who beat her up, asking her why she is a homosexual. A passing car shed light on the scene and they ran away, and the motorist took her to the hospital. 3.1.2 Cases involving threats of violence based on sexual orientation and/or gender identity. A total of 16 cases involving threats of violence against persons on the basis of their real or presumed SOGIE were reported in October 2023, affecting 21 persons. These threats were primarily threats of physical violence, with only one case involving a threat of arrest. The threats were perpetrated by unknown persons in 13 cases, neighbors in 4 cases, and 1 case each by family, spouses, friends and boda riders. The highest number of cases was reported from Isingiro, with 11 cases reported by LGBTQ refugees formerly residing in the Nakivale refugee settlement, followed by Mukono with 4 cases, Wakizo with 3, Kampala with 2 and Gulu with 1. This table provides a detailed breakdown of the threats. No. Case code date of reporting. District nature of threat. Perpetrator brief facts number of victims. 1. HRAPF PA 237 2023 the 3rd of October 2023. Isingiro threat of physical harm. Community members. The client worked with transgender youths teaching them employable skills as part of his work at an LGBTQ organization in the settlement. He was forced to move the training workshop from his home following an altercation with his landlord and started working from the office of the Organisatitan, but it was burnt down and the people who did so threatened to harm him and his people next time if they did not stop. 12. HRAPF PA 238 2023 the 3rd of October 2023. Isingiro threat of physical violence. Community members. The client was chased away from the mosque where she used to worship by the leaders after they found out she works with an LGBTQ organization. Other people who used to worship from the same mosque, whom she did not know, threatened to harm her if she returned. 13. HRAPF PA 239 2023 the 3rd of October 2023. Isingiro threat of physical violence. Neighbors. The client's landlord was forced to ask her to leave the premises after the neighbors repeatedly told him that they would kill all the evil people and homosexuals in their neighborhood. 14. HRAPF PA 242 2023 the 3rd of October 2023. Isingiro threat of physical harm. Community members. The client was chased away from the village by the villagers on allegations of promoting homosexuality and child grooming. She was told to leave the village or face being burned alive. 1. 5. HRAPF PA 241 2023 0 the 3rd of October 2023. Isingiro threat of physical violence. Community members. The client was evicted by the landlord in the wake of the AHA and sought shelter at an LGBTQ organization, which was later burnt down. The arsonists left a message that they would be back to harm all the homosexuals who lived there if they did not move. 16. HRAPF PA 243 2023 3 October 2023. Isingiro threat of physical violence. Community members. The client was living with a pastor who was forced to evict her after a group of people from the refugee settlement where they live came to their home and threatened to lynch both her and the pastor if the pastor did not get rid of the homosexuals. 17. HRAPF PA 244 2023 3 October 2023. Isingiro threat of physical harm. Community members. The client's landlord chased her away from the rented house in the wake of the AHA, and she found accommodation at an LGBTQ support organization, which was later burnt down. She and several others who were living at the shelter were forced to flee after the arsonists threatened to return and harm them. She became homeless, sleeping wherever she could, but was repeatedly threatened by random strangers, forcing her to reach out for help. 8. HRAPF PA 245 2023 3 October 2023. Isingiro threat of physical violence. Community members. The client, a leader of an organization, found a message at his home threatening to find and harm all the people running the organization whose offices had been burnt down. 119. HRAPF PA 248 2023 2 October 2023. Campbell A. Thereat of physical violence. Boda Boda riders. The client was outed to the Boda Boda riders in her neighborhood who started to verbally insult her all the time and threatened to beat her up. 110. HRAPF PA 250 2023 13 October 2023. Mukin O. Threat of physical violence. Neighbors. The client's neighbors threatened to harm him and his friends when he came home with two men and they entered the house and shut the door. They started to shout that they were tired of homosexuals, and did not want them in the neighborhood and would beat them to death if they did not leave. 111. HRAPF PA 251 2023 13 October 2023. Campbell A. Threat of physical violence. Unknown man. The client was confronted near his home by a man he did not know who told him that they were tired of homosexuals, and that if he did not change, the man would find him and cut him with a panga. 122. HRAPF PA 252 2023 13 October 2023. Mukono. Threat of physical violence. Neighbors. The client was seated outside her house chatting with a friend when a neighbor started speaking loudly, saying that they knew all the homosexuals in their area and that they would deal with them all. She added that all homosexuals deserved to be beaten to death, and the others who were seated outside also agreed, saying that they would one day beat up the homosexuals. 213. HRAPF PA 253 2023 13 October 2023. Mukin O. Physical violence. Neighbors. The client was in her house with two friends when a neighbor started shouting that she knew they were all homosexuals. She called loudly on other people to come and save them from the homosexuals. The clients were forced to run away for fear that a mob could gather and harm them. 314. HRAPF PA 254 2023 23 October 2023. Wakizo threat of physical violence. Friend. A casual acquaintance of the client started to suspect that he was gay and confronted him. When the client admitted it, he immediately demanded for $400,000 from him, stating that if the client refused, he would do something to him and that no one would ever even suspect. 115. HRAPF PA 256 2023 24 October 2023. Wakizo threat of physical violence. Outing. Wife. The client's wife found out that he was a bisexual and threatened to out him to her family. His brothers threatened to beat him up. 116. HRAPF PA 257 2023 27 October 2023. Gulu threat of arrest. Family. Someone took a photo of the client kissing her partner and sent it to her brother, who immediately outed her to the entire family. They started threatening to have her arrested if she ever came near the family home again. 1. 3.2 Evictions from property and homes. In October 2023, there were 27 cases of evictions from rented property that were reported to HRAPF's Legal Aid Clinic, affecting 37 persons. The cases were reported from Kampala 14, Wakizo 7, Isingiro 2, Mukono 2, and 1 each from Jinja and Gulu districts. The evictions were perpetrated primarily by property owners, landlords 21, of which 3 also involved local council authorities, followed by family members 3, local council authorities in 1 case, community members in 1 case and the spouse of the victim in 1 case. In many of these cases, the neighbors expressed suspicion about the victim's sexuality, prompting the landlord to evict the clients, while in 1 case, the landlord specifically cited the AHA as the reason for the eviction. The table below discusses these cases in detail. No. Case code date of reporting. District perpetrator brief facts number of victims. 1. HRAPF PA 199 2023. The 2nd of October 2023. Kampala landlord. The client in this case was evicted by her landlord after he heard rumors from the neighbors that the client was a homosexual. 12. HRAPF PA 202 2023. The 2nd of October 2023. Kampala landlord. The client's landlord gave her a verbal notice of eviction, requiring that she leave the house with immediate effect after he heard rumors that she is a lesbian. 13. HRAPF PA 246 2023. The 3rd of October 2023. Isingiro community members, family. The client was a pastor at a church but also worked at an LGBTQ organization. When this was discovered, he was chased away from the church, isolated, and his family discriminated to the extent that they could not even buy necessities at shops in the neighborhood, who wouldn't sell to them. The family threatened to give him up to the people who were looking for him if he did not leave the home. 14. HRAPF PA 201 2023. The 5th of October 2023. Kampala landlord. The landlord evicted the client after his neighbors complained that the client brings girls to the house and has sex with them, which is a bad influence for their children. 15. HRAPF PA 202 2023. The 6th of October 2023. Kampala family. The client's sister was looking through his phone when she found gay porn videos and confronted him about being gay. Since he was living in her house, she demanded that he leave because she was not going to tolerate his habits any longer. 16. HRAPF PA 203 2023. The 16th of October 2023. Kampala landlord. The client's ex-partner came to her house to see her and found her current partner. The two got into a fight and the neighbors heard, and complained to the landlord, who evicted her. 17. HRAPF PA 204 2023. The 16th of October 2023. Wakizo landlord. The client's landlord informed him that he had been hearing rumors for a long time that the client was gay, and that he was no longer willing to entertain the client. He asked him to leave the house. 18. HRAPF PA 205 2023. The 16th of October 2023. Kampala landlord. The clients were living together but used to routinely host friends of theirs. One time, the community members they had hosted had a fight, and loudly quarreled about details of their sex lives, which the neighbors found offensive. They reported to the landlord, prompting the landlord to evict the clients. 29. HRAPF PA 206 2023. The 16th of October 2023. Kampala landlord. The client was evicted after the landlord found out that he was gay. He reported that the landlord found out this after a neighbor opened the door to his home without knocking and found him making intimate with his partner. 110. HRAPF PA 207 2023. 16 LTH October 2023. Wakizo landlord. The client's friends visited her home and got drunk while there, after which they started chatting loudly about the fact that her neighbors thought she was a cisgender woman yet she was transgender. A neighbor heard and informed the others that she was really a man pretending to be a woman, and when the landlord heard, he evicted her. 111. HRAPF PA 208 2023. The 17th of October 2023. Kampala landlord. The client was arrested on allegations that the defense secretary had found her having sex with her partner in the house. They were detained for 1 day at the nearby police post before being released. However, upon her release, she found that the landlord had locked up the house and he asked her to move out immediately because he had found out she was a homosexual. 12. HRAPF PA 209 2023. The 20th of October 2023. Kampala landlord. The clients were residing together in the same rental unit. The neighbors started to grow suspicious of them, and reported to the landlord that they were all in relationships with each other, 3 couples, and were homosexuals. The landlady evicted them on this basis. 6. 13. HRAPF PA 210 2023. The 20th of October 2023. Mukono landlord. The client provided temporary accommodation to 2 friends of his who had experienced challenges. The neighbors reported that the 2 looked gay, and the landlord agreed and asked the client to stop collecting homosexuals in his house. He later asked him to leave the premises entirely, stating that he must also be a homosexual. 3. 14. HRAPF PA 211 2023. The 20th of October 2023. Izingiro chairperson. The client was given an eviction notice by the chairperson of their village in the settlement who stated that they were not willing to live with homosexuals in their area. 1. 15. HRAPF PA 212 2023. The 20th of October 2023. Mukono landlord, chairperson. The client's landlord reported to the chairperson that there were credible rumors that the client was a homosexual, and asked permission of the LC to evict the client. The 2 then went together to the client's home and informed him that he was no longer welcome on the premises or the village. 1. 16. HRAPF PA 213 2023. The 23rd of October 2023. Kampala landlord. The client's landlord asked her to leave the home she was renting following complaints from the neighbors that she was a homosexual. 1. 17. HRAPF PA 214 2023. The 23rd of October 2023. Kampala landlord. The client was outed as a transgender woman by her roommate, whom she had confided in about her sexuality. The roommate told the other neighbors and the landlord, who asked the client to vacate the premises. 1. 18. HRAPF PA 215 2023. The 24th of October 2023. Jinja husband. The client's husband found out that she was a bisexual and that she was in a relationship with another woman in the neighborhood. He 1. Immediately threw her out of the house and told her that she was not to come near their 4 children. 19. HRAPF PA 216 2023. The 24th of October 2023. Wakizo family. The client was living with her sister. One day, her sister borrowed her phone to make a call, then went through her WhatsApp, landing on a chat between the client and her partner. She got angry and confronted the client, and when the client confirmed that she was a lesbian, she asked her to leave the home immediately. 1. 20. HRAPF PA 217 2023. The 25th of October 2023. Gulu landlord, LC chairperson. The client's landlord agreed with the LC chairperson to make her leave the village because of accusations that she was immoral and was teaching young girls in the neighborhood to be lesbians. 1. 21. HRAPF PA 218 2023. The 26th of October 2023. Kampala landlord. The client's neighbors became suspicious of his sexuality and informed the landlord that he never had female visitors at his house and always seemed to be very close to the men who visited him. The landlord approached the client, informed him of this and asked him to leave, stating that this state of affairs was making the other neighbors uncomfortable. 1. 22. HRAPF PA 219 2023. The 26th of October 2023. Wakizo landlord. The landlord got suspicious of the client's sexuality after an incident where the client was arrested and held at the police station for 4 days amidst allegations that he was a homosexual. About 2 months after the client's release, the landlord asked him to leave the premises, stating that the neighbors were disturbed by the client's presence. 23. HRAPF PA 222 2023. The 26th of October 2023. Wakizo family. The client's sister accessed her phone and found conversations she had on various WhatsApp groups for LGBTQ persons. She threatened to report her to their parents if she did not immediately leave the family home. 24. HRAPF PA 221 2023. The 30th of October 2023. Kampala landlord. The landlord served the client with a notice requiring them to leave the home within a month, but without giving a reason. When approached about this, the landlord stated that he was not interested in discussing such distasteful matters and would prefer that the client leave his home before he is forced to involve the police. 25. HRAPF PA 222 2023. The 30th of October 2023. Wakizo landlord. The client's neighbors found out about his sexuality after eavesdropping on a fight between him and his partner. They reported to the landlord and asked the landlord to evict him, which the landlord did with immediate effect. 26. HRAPF PA 223 2023. The 30th of October 2023. Wakizo landlord and defense secretary. The clients were asked to leave their rented home after a crowd of people gathered around their house at night, demanding that they come out. A neighbor got concerned and called the area defense secretary and landlord, who were informed on arrival that the clients were homosexuals and thieves. The landlord asked them to prepare to leave the area, and the defense secretary advised that they find another village. 27. HRAPF PA 224 2023. The 31st of October 2023. Kampala landlord. The client's landlord gave them notice to leave the premises within a month, citing fear of being arrested for harboring homosexuals. 3.3 cases of arrest. In October 2023, HRAPF handled a total of 6 cases in which individuals were arrested on sexuality-related charges affecting 10 persons. This was an increase from the 3 cases affecting 7 people handled in September 2023. In all these 6 cases, the clients were charged with offenses under the AHA, although none were taken to court. In 5 cases, they were charged with homosexuality, while in 1 case the client was charged with attempted homosexuality. 4 of the cases were from Kampala, 1 from Wakizo and 1 from Mukono. 5 of the 10 arrested persons were subjected to anal examinations. A total of 10 individuals were affected in these cases, as illustrated in the table below. No. Case code. Date of reporting. District charge brief. Facts. Number of victims. 1. HRAPF PA 258 2023. The 10th of October 2023. Wakizo attempted homosexuality. The client is a transgender woman who took a homeless boy who used to hang around her mobile money kiosk home for one night when the boy told her he had nowhere to sleep. The following morning, a neighbor who saw the boy leave the house called the police and had the client arrested, accusing her of raping the boy. She was held at the police station for 4 days before her sister, whom she lives with, came to the station to inform them that the boy slept in a different room. 2. HRAPF PA 259 2023. The 10th of October 2023. Kampala homosexuality. The clients were arrested by the defense secretary who reported that he found them having sex inside their house. He took them to the nearby police post where they were held for 1 day on charges of homosexuality before being released on bond. 2. 3. HRAPF PA 260 2023. The 13th of October 2023. Kampala homosexuality. The client was held in police custody for 9 days. This happened when he met up with a man he had been chatting with on Grindr. And the man tried to steal his phone. He resisted and tried to run away, but the man screamed that he was a homosexual, and the people who were standing nearby arrested him and took him to the police station. The one man disappeared. He was subjected to an anal examination. 4. HRAPF PA 261 2023 the 15th of October 2023. Mukono homosexuality. One of the clients in this case visited his friend, and as soon as he entered the house and shut the door, police officers in plain clothes surrounded the house and banged on the door, asking them to open. The two were arrested and taken to the station, where they were held for 3 days on charges of homosexuality. 2. 5. HRAPF PA 262 2023 the 16th of October 2023. Kampala homosexuality. The client's friend came to visit him at the hostel, and the roommate, who suspected that the two were gay, reported to the hostel manager, who immediately locked them both in the room and called the police to arrest them on charges of homosexuality. They were subjected to anal examinations. 2. 6. HRAPF PA 2633 2024 the 24th of October 2023. Kampala homosexuality. The clients in this case were arrested from inside their saloon when a student who had come to take shelter on the saloon veranda during the rain reported that she heard sex sounds. They were held at the police station for 10 days before being released on court order. They were subjected to anal examinations. 2. 3.4 Cases of extortion. This is a new category of cases created from that on violence in order to acknowledge the continued rise in the number of such cases. 3 cases of extortion were recorded in October with 3 victims, while 2 were recorded in September with 2 victims. The main perpetrators are intimate partners, and these were the perpetrators in all cases reported in this report. No. Case code. Date of reporting. District. Nature of violence. Perpetrator. Brief facts. Number of victims. 1. HRAPF PA 229 2023 the 10th of October 2023. Kampala extortion. Intimate partner. The client was in a sexual relationship with a person who stole his phone, accessed his contacts, and started sending screenshots of his conversations with partners in WhatsApp groups of queer people to his wife, his church leaders, etc., demanding that he pay him $500,000 for him to stop. 1. 2. HRAPF PA 231 2023 the 14th of October 2023. Masaka extortion. Intimate partner. The client's partner threatened to go to the police and report that the client had been sexually assaulting him if he did not pay him money to keep him quiet. This was after the relationship had been terminated by the client. 1. 3. HRAPF PA 232 2023 the 15th of October 2023. Kampala extortion. Intimate partner. The client's partner took his phone and accessed intimate videos of the client, then started demanding for money in exchange for not sending these videos to the client's family and friends. He demanded for $400,000. 1. For comparison with September 2023. The month of October represented an upward trend in the number of cases involving actions that target LGBTQ persons on their sexuality. It should be noted that there was a significant reduction in cases in which individuals were targeted for negative treatment on basis of their SOGIE from July, in which 53 cases were handled, to August, in which 47 cases were handled. This number increased slightly in September to 49, but has jumped significantly to 65 in October 2023. It is not immediately clear if this sudden spike can be attributed to a single factor, although there has been a notable spike in social media attention to issues of sexuality during the month, particularly as a result of the police deliberately publishing names and details of individuals and events in cases where LGBTIQ persons are arrested on sexuality-related charges. In addition, the continued rise of homophobia in the Nakivale refugee settlement cannot be discounted, and is a cause for grave concern for the LGBTQ persons who remain trapped within the confines of the camp without the resources to move out. In the month of October, the highest number of cases of violence and threats of violence, of which a total of 29 cases were reported, a rise from 24 cases in September and 19 in August, with all the cases of violence and threats of violence in October perpetrated by non-state actors, a pointer of the zeal with which the general community continues to do their part to enforce the provisions of the AHA as they perceive them. This was followed by cases of evictions, of which 26 were reported, an increase from 22 cases in September and 26 in August. The cases of arrest on sexuality-related charges increased significantly from 3 cases affecting 5 persons in September to 6 arrests affecting 10 individuals in October, and cases of extortion are now at 3 compared to 2 in September, which were recorded under violence. 5 comparison with the period from the 1st of October 2022 to the 31st of October 2022. In October 2022, a total of 53 cases were handled involving LGBTQ persons, of which 7 cases involved actions that directly targeted persons on the basis of their real or presumed SOGI. The actions in these 7 cases affected a total of 7 people, and included 3 cases of real or threatened violence and 4 arrests. The total number of cases handled in October 2023 has increased dramatically from the same period in 2022, from 53 to 83, 56.6% increment, as has the number of cases in which individuals have been targeted for detrimental treatment on the basis of their sexuality, from 7 cases in October 2022 to 64 cases in October 2023, an increment of 814%. The only variable to which this dramatic increase could possibly be attributed is the enactment of the AHA23. 6. The 5 months of the AHA23 in Uganda. In the first 5 months of the AHA 2023, a total of 371 cases involving LGBTQ persons have been handled across the legal aid network, of which 259, 67.38.1%, targeted LGBTIQ people on the basis of their sexuality, affecting a total of 334 persons. The breakdown of cases so far is as follows. Nature of violation. June 2023, July 2023, August 2023, September 2023, October 2023. Total number of cases. Evictions 19262222 violence 23 21192427 Arrests 4 663 625 Extortion 33 Total 4653 47 49 64 259 The victims in these cases are. Nature of violation: June 2023, July 2023, August 2023, September 2023, October 2023. Total number of victims. Evictions 2033 2631 37147 Violence 23 2422 3735 141 Arrests 7 10 115 10 43 Extortion 33 Total 50 67 59 73 85 334. In comparison with the same 5-month period in 2022, a total of 191 LGBTIQ cases were handled in that period, of which 50 cases, 26.2%, contained actions that deliberately targeted LGBTIQ persons for detrimental treatment. This translates to an increase of 180 in the overall total number of cases handled, from 191 in June to October 2022 to 371 cases in the period from June to October 2023, and an increase of 210 in the number of cases involving actions targeting LGBTQ persons specifically, from 50 in June to October 2022 to 259 in June to October 2023. This points to the conclusion that nearly all the cases by which the general case load has been increased are in fact homophobia-driven incidents that could be directly attributed to the enactment of the AHA. 7. Conclusion. It is clear that the situation for LGBTQ persons in Uganda in the wake of the enactment of the AHA continues to be particularly difficult, with cases of deliberate and targeted homophobia continuing to rise significantly. Arrests continue despite the absence of prosecutions. Unfortunately, Due to the Director of Public Prosecution's directive requiring all cases involving charges under the AHA to be forwarded to the DPP, persons arrested by the police now spend longer in police detention as the police and state attorneys figure out what to do. Anal examinations are also on the increase. Therefore, what is clear is that the AHA continues to promote violence, and violations against LGBTIQ persons form both state and non-state actors.